Good evening, welcome to 1010, your top 10 news in 10 minutes. I'm Andy Hong.
And this is Esther Park. I hope that you're having a great school year. All the club rushes are going on these days. Make sure to have fun along the way.
Sure, fun. And here's our first news of the day. A coalition of the United States, France, and 5 Middle Eastern nations began airstrikes on ISIS targets in Syria early on Tuesday around the terrorist stronghold of Raqqa. The attacks were initiated by a barrage of Tomahawk missiles from American ships, then followed by various types of strike aircraft. Most of the targets were hard and stationary buildings serving as headquarters, and though there were no immediate report of casualties, the Pentagon is now busy trying to quell various reports of up to 24 civilian casualties throughout the strikes. The airstrikes overall were marked with several firsts, such as the debut of the first American 5th-generation stealth fighter, the F-22, which delivered high-accuracy satellite-guided bombs with deadly efficiency. Let's hope the extremely over-budget planes do their money's worth. Also leading the United Arab Emirates Air Force was Major Mariam Al-Mansouri, the UAE's first female fighter pilot. Although many, including Iranian President Hassan Rouhani, publicly expressed doubts on the effectiveness of the airstrikes in getting rid of ISIS once and for all, the attacks are certainly better than standing idly by.
Also, the United States believes that it has identified the ISIS militant in the video showing American journalist James Foley's killing, FBI Director James Comey said Thursday. However, he did not publicly identify the man. Since August, ISIS has beheaded Foley, an American journalist Stephen Sotloff, and British aid worker David Haynes, gruesomely showing their killings in videos posted online. FBI officials believe the same militant speaks in all three videos. ISIS, which calls itself the Islamic State, has been ramping up its threats against the United States and the West. This summer, the group declared the establishment of a caliphate, an Islamic State stretching across the territory it has conquered.
Yes, ISIS is a huge problem. Hopefully, political means will be a better method to getting rid of the group, but for now, airstrikes will have to do. Meanwhile, in North Korea, American citizen Matthew Miller began his prison sentence of 6 years of hard labor yesterday. He was arrested earlier this month on charges of hostile acts, such as, according to North Korean media, ripping his visa to go to prison and report the human rights violations in the facility to become a quote-unquote second Snowden. In an early September interview with CNN, Miller said that his actions were premeditated. However, he had written to many U.S. officials, and some sources report that he called his parents for help on Wednesday, suggesting that his statements in the interview were probably staged by the North Korean government.
And back to the United States, Attorney General Eric Holder announced on Thursday that he will resign after 6 years at the helm of the Justice Department. Holder has agreed to remain in the post until a confirmation of his next successor. He thanked President Barack Obama for the greatest honor of my professional life. He stated that he will continue to serve and try to find ways to make our nation better. Obama stood next to Holder in the White House State Dining Room, praising the first African American to serve as Attorney General and who made civil rights and equal rights central components to his tenure as Justice. The Attorney General is one of the only 3 remaining members of Obama's original cabinet. Currently, many analysts are predicting that Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick, Solicitor General Donald Verrilli Jr., and California Attorney General Kamala Harris.
The NFL has lately been going through a storm of criticism due to its disgusting handling of the major domestic violence issues by football players. The first major case to spark the fire was the surfacing of a video of football player Ray Rice punching his then-fiancée in the face in an elevator in a casino, then dragging her out. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, along with most NFL officials, said that they had never seen the video and thus were unable to take action. However, a law enforcement official recently announced that Jeffrey Miller, the NFL security chief, had received the controversial footage as early as April. According to the official, no one from the NFL ever asked him for the video, so he sent it anonymously to Jeff Miller because he's their head of security. However, Miller denied unequivocally that he had not seen the video until it was made public on September 8th.
On Friday, President Barack Obama at the United Nations gathering urged the global community to tackle Ebola. He warned that there is a significant gap between what's been offered so far and what is actually needed to stem the health crises in West Africa. The emergency UN session on Ebola reflected the deep concern about an outbreak that has so far killed nearly 3,000 people. The U.S. health officials warned that the number of infected people could explode to 1.4 million by mid-January. Despite the grim warnings, Obama said that the international aid simply is not flowing into West Africa fast enough. He touted the assistance that U.S. is providing and said that America alone cannot solve the problem and urged other nations to take similar actions.
Sure, it's also another problem that the new iPhone 6 has a tendency to bend in the owner's pocket. But your phone got all those P's. However, some reports suggest that the unstable markets for the smuggled iPhones are on the decline due to, according to Business Insider, the influx of iPhone 6 handsets from Hong Kong.
And this day in history, for the first time in U.S. history, a debate between major party presidential candidates is shown on television. John F. Kennedy, a Democrat senator of Massachusetts, and Richard M. Nixon, the Vice President of the United States, met in Chicago to discuss U.S. domestic matters. Kennedy was the apparent winner from the first of the 4 televised debates, who was in much ease than Nixon. However, Nixon did better in the second and third debates. On the final debate, the two candidates met to discuss about foreign affairs. Later, Kennedy won by 49.7% of the popular vote in one of the closest presidential elections in U.S. history, surpassing by a fraction the 49.6% received by Nixon. For a while, many candidates declined to debate in the presidential campaigns. However, televised presidential debates returned in 1976 and have been held in every presidential campaign since.
Amazing to see how technology shapes everything in our lives. And for today's science news, we revisit the Middle East, where one of the petroleum capitals of the world is pursuing a record-breaking alternative energy project. The UAE became wealthy through oil and is consequently extremely oil-dependent in its economic, political, and social decisions. Next March, however, the UAE will be the starting and finishing location for the circumnavigation of the solar plane Solar Impulse 2. Masdar, an Abu Dhabi renewable energy company, is a major partner in the project, and Masdar chairman and UAE Minister of State Dr. Sultan Ahmad Al Jaber put in words the hopes of many people when he stated, "We share a commitment to foster the development of technological advances in alternative energy sources in order to contribute to a cleaner, more sustainable future." And that was 1010. I'm Andy Hong.
And this is Esther Park. Remember to hit subscribe, like our Facebook page, and follow us through Twitter. See you all next week.